Hello and welcome to our Scribe Insight presentation. Today's presentation is going to be on Dynamics NAV and Dynamics CRM integration using the Scribe Insight platform. My name is Rich Rodacey and I'm a sales engineer here at Scribe Software. At the conclusion of today's presentation, you should have a good idea as to how Scribe Insight can be very strategic in helping companies integrate across their disparate applications, at the same time providing additional value to those existing applications. Let's begin by taking a look at the Scribe component-based architecture. So as you can see here, whether you're doing simple one-off migrations or complex integrations or anything in between, it's the Scribe component-based architecture that allows for this, regardless if you're doing on-premise integrations or if it's hybrid integrations or cloud-to-cloud type integrations. Scribe Insight is very strategic in allowing you to do that. It all begins with the Scribe server, as you can see there in the center of your screen above the horizontal internet pipe. The Scribe server is a Windows platform-based server. It can be, you can install Scribe Insight on an existing application server, or you could put it on its dedicated server. It really depends on the transactional volume that you would expect in building out your integrations, not only for today as well as in the future. Now, when you install the Scribe Insight platform, you get two components. You get the workbench, which is to the left of the server, as well as the Scribe console, which is to the right of the server. The workbench is basically where the designer would create the data maps that would dictate how data is going to flow between point A and point B. That designer basically builds out that migration or that data map, can test it, can add transformation functions to condition that data as that data would move into the target application. Testing it, like I said, is very critical. Last thing you want to hear is your customers coming back and saying that the data that we have in our target system is not what we expect. So what you certainly can do here within the workbench is give it a test run and see what that data is going to look like based on the way you built out that design. Now, to the right of the server console, as you can see here on the screen, is the Scribe console. Now, the Scribe console is used to really leverage all the automation features that it brings to the table to run those data maps that you've created within the workbench unattended and transparent to the users. In addition to monitors, data views, you have many different capabilities within that Scribe console to automate this whole process for you. Directly above the server, you'll see templates, an icon that says templates on it. This is our solution templates. In fact, the integration use case that I'll share with you today is based on a solution template that you can freely download from our website. A lot of customers decide to download that and use it in its entirety, or maybe they just want to use pieces and parts from it. Because the Scribe Insight is a platform and very user-friendly to use, you don't need to be a programmer to utilize this product. You can certainly add and subtract, like I said, from that template to build out something that would be specific for the business use cases at hand. Now, we also installed during this process our technology adapters. These are ODBC-based technologies. So if you need to connect into a Sybase, a DB2 database, an Oracle database, we have a suite of ODBC drivers that we ship with this product as well. Now, we also provide application adapters. Now, these application adapters are what Scribe has developed from ground zero, leveraging the APIs of those applications that exist out there in the industry today, such as the Dynamics family of applications. And you'll be seeing two of those today, Dynamics NAV as well as Dynamics CRM. But we also have adapters for Salesforce. We have adapters for Sales Logics. So quite a few application adapters that are on our portfolio as well. So that's a quick look at the component-based architecture that brings this whole solution together. So as far as the use case demonstration that I'd like to share with you today, it's going to be a twofold demonstration. And there's going to be contingencies or relationships between the first use case and the second. So in this first one, what you're going to see me do is basically capturing lead information that could be resident on a web portal that you may have out in the cloud, and you want to capture those leads and migrate that data directly into your CRM deployment, and then hopefully convert those into customers at the appropriate time. So we're going to be doing that in the first part of this demonstration today. So we'll capture web leads, and as you can see, this is built on a solution template, which is also downloadable from our website. And in this particular a solution, we're going to be capturing account information, demographic information, contact information, activity, and opportunity. And we're going to be moving that forward into Dynamics CRM. So that will be the first piece of this demonstration. Now the second piece of this is going to be integration between NAV and Dynamics CRM. So what we'll do is that lead that we will convert in CRM into a customer, that will then automatically flow into the back office, in this case Dynamics NAV, where we'll be able to at that point be able to do an order to invoicing between Dynamics CRM and Dynamics NAV. And again, this piece of it is a solution template, as I said, that you can also download from our website. So if we take a look at this from a higher level, this is kind of the building blocks, if you will, how this is all going to come together. So as you can see there on the left side of your screen, we're going to be capturing a web lead from a standard web lead form. That web lead form we're going to submit. It's going to create an XML transaction. Scribe Insight is going to pick that up, and we're going to replicate that data into Dynamics CRM, at which point we'll convert that into a relationship type of equals customer. And then that will synchronize into the back office, in this case Dynamics NAV. At that point, once we have synchronization between these two endpoints, we'll go through the order to invoicing process as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this demonstration. Let me just go ahead and tab out. All right, I'm going to bring up my leads form. Actually, what we're seeing here is Dynamics CRM, and you can see we're looking at my open leads on the leads page here. I'm just going to do a quick refresh and show you that there is nothing currently within my CRM deployment with regards to new leads. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to my leads tab. And as you can see here, this is a standard web leads form. I've already filled in the form. As you can see, I've got first name, last name. Here you can see we've got a new lead called Andy, last name Andrews, title, email address, phone number, fax number, etc. As I scroll down, there's the company information. In this case, we're going to call them Andrews Company. The address, city, state, postal code, additional phone numbers, and the website address. And as we scroll down just a bit further, you can see that we have an area of interest here. So this particular lead that has visited our website has shown interest in not only the Insight product, but also the training involved and potentially becoming a reseller. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and submit this order. You can see we've got two buttons down below. We're going to use the Submit to MSMQ, which basically will take that data that I just shared with you, and we're going to create an XML file out of it and drop that into the MSMQ, from which Scribe Insight, our product, will pick that message, that transaction up, consume it, and move it into Dynamics CRM. So let's go ahead and submit this, and as you can see here, we got a response saying that we have successfully submitted this order, or I should say this lead, into our system today. So what we'll do now is we'll go back over into Dynamics CRM, and here is the page that I had left it on before when I did a refresh. What we're going to do at this point is we're going to go ahead and perform another refresh, and you can see we now have Andy Andrews that has entered into our Dynamics CRM deployment. So I'm a CRM sales rep. I work and live and breathe here in Dynamics CRM. So I see this new lead. I want to start working that lead. So let me go ahead and take a look at some of the information about that lead. Let me see who Andy is all about. So we can open up the record here for Andy Andrews, and we can see that the topic here is web leads for Insight training and becoming a reseller. You can see how we actually captured that, where we picked up those tokens of information within that web form and actually built out a string here that makes sense from a user perspective in terms of reading this. And you can see first name, last name, all that relevant information we've mapped forward from that XML transaction that originated at that web lead. I can certainly scroll down a bit further, and you can see once again we've built out a nice description here based on pulling tokens from those various form fields and building out something that would be appropriate in terms of a description. Now we can also come over here and we can click on activities on the far left. And what we've done also, in not only creating this lead, we've actually associated an activity. In this case, we're creating an email activity for that lead. So we've not only created two objects, if you will, within Dynamics CRM, but we're maintaining relationships between those just as well. All right, so let's go back to my general tab here. And let's say that, I've looked at this data, I've given Andrew a call, and I think that, this is more than a lead. Let's go ahead and convert this into a customer. So I'm going to come up here and we're going to qualify this lead. So I'll click on qualify. I'm going to click on account. Let's say we want to change this into an account within Dynamics CRM. Go ahead and apply this. We'll close this out at this point, and now you can see the lead is gone from my lead screen here. Do another refresh and I'll show you that that is certainly the case. Now, we've converted that into an account. Scribe Insight has not done anything in the background at this point. Let's go ahead and take a look at the accounts page. And what we should see here at the top is that we should have a new company called Andrew's Company, as you can see there. Once again, we can open up the record, and again, nothing fancy that Scribe is doing at this point. This is all CRM functionality. So all that data obviously has been populated as a new account into Dynamics CRM. All right, so what I want to do now is, I had mentioned in those two snapshots that you saw earlier, the first one capturing the web lead, and the second one actually doing order to invoicing. Well, that's what I want to do at this point. I want to create an order for this new account. However, I cannot create an order because this account has not been synchronized into the back office, and it won't until the relationship type of this customer or this account at this point has been set to a relationship type of customer. And we'll do that here on this page. So we'll scroll down and we'll come down to the bottom here under details, and you can see there in the center of the screen we've got a field that says relationship type. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to go ahead and flip that to a customer, and at this point I'm going to save and close that. All right, so basically that is now been converted into a customer. Scribe Insight now is being triggered in the background because we now have a new account that has a relationship type of equals customer. At that point, that's our signal to pick up that transaction and then synchronize it into the back office, in this case Dynamics NAV. So let's go ahead into Dynamics NAV, and here you can see the screen before I did a refresh. You can see that there's the current customers that are in alphabetical order, and I don't see any Andrew's Company within this screen here. So what we'll do is we're going to do a quick refresh. So let me go ahead and click on refresh here at the top, and I'm just going to go ahead and search by name, and I'll scroll to the very top here, and what we now should see is we've got a new account called Andrew's Company. So we now have synchronization between Dynamics CRM because of flipping that relationship type to customer. It is now available here within our NAV back office. So at this point, we're good to go. We could actually create an account we can actually create an order against this account. So let's go through that process. I'm going to go back into Dynamics CRM, and let's go ahead and open up Andrew's Company. And now we'll go ahead and create an order against that. So over here on the left, we're going to click on, let's see, where's my orders? There we go. Let's click on orders. And here at the top, we'll say let's add a new order. And now we got to fill in the required fields. So we're going to call this order from CRM. We've already got the customer filled in. We've got the current currency in place. Let's just choose the appropriate price list. By the way, the price list is synchronized via that solution template that I talked about that you can download from our website. That price list has actually been synchronized between ERP and CRM. So we're going to go ahead and choose the retail. At this point, everything is good to go with regards to the required fields. You can see a field here called the order ID. Has the red asterisk there, but it's a read-only field. I can't type anything in that. The only way that I can actually have an ID populated is by clicking on the Save button. So let's do that. And now CRM has identified an order ID for me. So right now we have the shell of an order in place. So now what we want to do is we want to add some product to it. So let's go over here and click on Products. We'll add a new order product. And under existing products, a required field here, let's go ahead and choose a product from our product catalog. Now what you're seeing in this list has also been synchronized via that solution template. Those NAV inventory items have been successfully synchronized here into CRM to keep the two on the same page. I'm going to choose a 15-inch flat panel screen for today. We'll put that in place. The unit of measure here, required field, is going to be pieces. And the quantity here, we're going to choose a quantity of 1 today. Let's go ahead and save and close this. There is our new order for that, or a new item for that order that we've just created. I'm going to click on the Orders tab here, and I'm now going to submit this order. So we'll click on that. The order is now of submitted status, so we've created a new order. It is of submitted status, and again, Scribe Insight is sitting behind the scenes. It is now going to trigger the running of the integrations to be able to pick up that new order and then integrate that into the back office. So we'll close that out. I'm just going to do a refresh here of that order, and you can see it's now no longer an active order. However, if I click on Submitted, you can see there's that order from CRM. We'll close this down, and what we'll now do is we'll move into NAV, our back office. There's Andrew's Company. Let's see if Andrew's Company now has a new order. So we're going to go ahead and just double click on Andrew's Company, and we're going to come up here to Related Information, and we'll click on Sales, Orders, and what you now see here is we have an order available to us within Dynamics NAV. Just going to double click on that order so we can see it just a bit better. So you can see there's all the header information about Andrew's Company, and then down below here you can see there's that 15-inch monitor that we just created within Dynamics CRM. Scroll across, quantity, unit of measure, the price, pretty cheap for a monitor, the quantity to ship, all that information has been submitted. All right, so at this point, we're good to go from an ERP perspective. This particular company has excellent financial status, so we can go ahead and post this. So we're going to come up here and click on Post. We'll just ship an invoice, and you can see it now went through that posting process. Close that out. Once again, close that out. So now we have an order in ERP, NAV, that has a status of invoiced. That is the trigger for us to pick up that order and then reflect that change up into Dynamics CRM. So I'll go ahead and close this down. We're going to go back into Andrew's Company here within Dynamics CRM. And on the left side of the screen here, we're going to scroll down and click on Invoices. And what we should see is we now have an invoice that was created within NAV. So we've basically taken this from the web lead form where we submitted into CRM, went through the process of converting that into a customer, changed the relationship type, automatic synchronization from CRM into the back office. At that point, we had the synchronization in place. We then created that order in CRM, which then subsequently flowed, integrated into the back office, where we then invoiced it, and we're seeing that reflection back here in Dynamics CRM. Okay, let's go back to my PowerPoint presentation. And this slide here is kind of like, it really brings together this whole notion of Scribe Insight being a platform. And I stress the word platform in that we are not just a point-to-point solution. We're able to help you integrate those many disparate applications that you may have within your organization. Your focus may be today just on NAV CRM integration, but know that because of this platform nature of Scribe Insight, you can certainly reach out into these other applications and strategically include those within your migration and or integration strategy. So as you can see here, the Dynamics family to the left of the screen there. So you got CRM, GP, AX, NAV. These are all our Scribe application adapters that we have built to leverage those APIs of those applications. What that means to you is that the integrity of your data as it moves into those applications using our application adapter is going to be at the highest level because that's where the business rules are, and we have to abide by those business rules. So just going around the face of the dial there, you can see we got the relational databases, you got the SQLs to Oracles, we have a Microsoft Outlook client adapter that if you want to connect into a public mailbox, maybe pull some contact information out, make that available into your CRM deployment, you can certainly do that. Some other CRM deployments out there, you've got Salesforce, we have our application adapter for that as well, Sales Logics. Many of the different systems that our resellers have successfully integrated with using the Scribe Insight platform. Just a quick list there at the bottom right. Web services, if you need to make a web service call into a SOAP implementation out in the cloud, as long as you have a WSDL, a web services description language out there, we can connect into that and expose its methods and subsequent parameters so that you can then map against that. And then finishing off some contact management systems. In addition to ACT, we also have a Goldmine adapter and then native XML format. So that kind of brings everything together with regards to our platform design. Okay, well, this really takes us to the end of today's presentation, and I do really want to thank you very much for taking the time to view this, this recording. If you do have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can see there our presentation-related questions. Email us at demos@scribesoft.com, and please note the image or the presentation that you were viewing at the time of the question. Also, our website, scribesoft.com, our corporate phone number at the bottom there, 603-622-5109, should you have any questions about our product portfolios. Thank you very much for your attendance.